that this is one particular fixture where India will have to squeeze their hearts out. He himself, formerly a part of several reputed clubs in India, the likes of Churchill Brothers, Dempo, Vasco, Sporting Goa, and East Bengal as well. And most importantly, he has donned the Indian jersey as well, which tells you that he understands the weight of it, the kind of expectations that follow. The referee has got his eyes on the ticker as the countdown begins. And off we roll in Ahmedabad. India hoping to leave an early mark and an everlasting one at that. Iran as well hoping to make it 2-2 in terms of making the cut for the Asia Cup 2026, which will be played in Saudi Arabia. And with that being said, both the teams are very well stacked. Both the teams are resolute in terms of making it count early on. They know the importance of the opener. They know the kind of momentum setting it can do. They know the kind of belief that it can instill in a team. Long ball straight up. India does well to get it out of harm's way. A bit of an early tussle. Iran as well trying to get that opener to their name. They knows it very well. If they go on to draw first blood, they can dent a severe blow to India's aspirations, because India will be pumped up early. They will be super stoked to try and go for that ultra attacking mindset, which won't be easy for sure. And there you go, India. They win the first corner of the game, trying to come in with a quick cross there from the left. It was a decent move in the making. Unfortunately, Gunliba fails to open things up, and as you can see today, the stands, it's very hard to spot an empty seat. The numbers are on the higher side, and it's going to be Gunliba with the corner. Floats it from the left, headed away to safety by Iran. Their captain, Mohan Gante. He knows that today his presence as well is going to be very, very critical. Not the best of first touches. Does well, wonderfully laid it off towards the far right. Comes up with a crossfield ball. Repelled away by Iran. India looking pretty clinical in terms of winning the ball, but now they have lost it, and Iran might have some space. Jafar Asadi, he has been the main conductor of Iran's belligerence. And as we say today, both India under 17 and Iran under 17, they might be boys when it comes to their age, but they can very well turn themselves into the men of mayhem. But they are chasing a dream that will open a magical doorway, not to Narnia, but to Asia. And here's a chance for Iran. They attempted with a fine cross on that occasion. It was their skipper Mahan, but wonderfully blocked away by the boys in blue. A corner now for Iran as well. Already looks like it's going to be a high-paced, high-octane encounter, oscillating from one end. You can hear the fans. They are here to be India's 12th man army. They want Iran to tremble. They want Iran to feel the heat, which won't be easy. But this match has got a lot of potential. Here comes the corner towards the far side. Strong hand there from Rajroop Sarkar. He's done phenomenally well throughout the tournament. Despite going down against Lebanon, I think Rajroop, he will like to hold on to that solidity of his. He's got a decent physique and he puts it to good use. In fact, it's a throw-in for Iran at the other side. Quickly taken. And this time, couldn't really control the touch. Of course, India was resisting. Zafar trying to go in for that cross. Once again, brilliantly blocked on that occasion by Mohammad Aiman Bean. Another young talent who has been rated very highly. It's going to be a corner for Iran once again. Another opportunity, another chance for them to try and shake up the Indian defense. And it's going to be Jafar Asadi with the corner. Asadi curls it towards the far side. Brought down, but India wins it back in no time. And straight away, they want to launch a counter-attack of their own. I think Viviano Fernandez, he's already said it before the game that Iran are going to play a much more of a physical and direct brand of football. So India, they'll be more focused on their defense, but every single turnover that comes their way, every single chance that they manage to sneak the ball in and at least start pushing Iran back, they'll have to take that. They cannot afford the luxury of profligacy. They cannot afford the luxury of squandering chances away. And it's good to see such young kids coming out in the center. Gujarat as well, showing their love for these teenagers. And this possibly is a statement. This possibly is a statement to all the teenagers that don't worry. We believe in you. And no matter the consequences, no matter the repercussions, let's show the world, let's show the continent that we can come up with something very, very special. At least a fight till the very end. And turn the promise of tomorrow into a prophecy. You can hear the crowd roar, India, India, because their favorite team is out in the center. And this kind of support is what really keeps the kids roaring into tomorrow's glory. And nicely done, Jafar Asadi on the ball. But Asadi gets a bit of a heavy touch on that occasion. The tussle for the ball continues, and eventually the referee blowing the whistle, awarding a free kick to the hosts. We'll take a look at what really happened. Yeah, it was a bit of a high jump on that occasion from Abbas Rafi. Mukundo Singh was trying to break free. For now, however, Iran still continues to dominate the midfield and control the tempo as well. In the last game, Palestine managed to score one against the tide of the play in the first half. Unfortunately, they couldn't really hold on to that shape of the backline. It gave way to the relentless pressure of Iran in the second half. And a brace from Jafar Asadi is what shook things up. Iran, they have drawn with Lebanon. It was another tough game for them, but Lebanon as well showing grit. Unfortunately, Lebanon is also out of the tournament because they went on to draw their first 3 games. And despite a victory against India in the last game, it wasn't enough for them to get over Iran in terms of points. And now India, looking good, comes up with a bit of an overpowered touch on that occasion. It needed to be slightly more controlled. Lesvin Rebello had his eyes on the ball. Unfortunately, it was going miles away from him, and by no means could he have wrested it back from the watchful eyes of Iran. Another one of those long balls. Nicely steered into the strides of Iran's defensive unit, Poya Esmi. It's the right wing once again that Iran tries to focus on. Comes up with a lovely cross. India repels it away. Possession still falls back for Iran. Jafar from the left, cutting in, goes for a shot at the near post. Unfortunately, the target wasn't struck. Rajrup Sarkar didn't want to take any chance at all. Was quick to go down, following the trajectory of the ball, and ensured the fact that the near post was covered. Nicely done. We'll take a look once again. That was well followed, but again, the shooting space shouldn't be allowed to Iran either, because they can turn it into a full-blown shooting, firing range, and India might not get a second bite at the cherry. Another one of those crosses, nicely brought down. Possession still stays with India. Apologies with Iran, and a lovely shot as well on the turn. But Rajrup Sarkar coming up with a crucial save again. showing the continent that he can be one of the reliable hands to look forward to. It was their skipper, Mahan Beheshti. Fine shot. The kind of precision he conjured despite being one on the turn, that was impeccable. But Rajrup Sarkar says, not so easy. Not so easy at all. You gotta go through me if you have to find glory. And I'm standing tall. And it's Mahan Beheshti, the man who won the corner, will be the one to curl it into the traffic. Beheshti at the near post, a bit of chaos. And India was quick to get the ball out of harm's way. They don't want to take any risk because the more time they give Iran in their box is the more trouble they invite for themselves. A bit of a slip up on that occasion. Jafar Asadi wins the ball, still stays with the ball, comes up with a cross towards the far side. Rajrup Sarkar once again with a crucial save. And the Indian backline quick to come to their senses, quick to get the ball out of harm's way. Gante now from the right, looking for a bit of momentum. Unfortunately misses out. In fact, it was Gunliba and not Gante. Apologies for the same. But Iran, once again, quick to win the possession back, quick to switch it into the strides. If their players, couple of fine touches. Mahan plays it back. Abbas Rafi knocks it forward to Jafar. Nicely done there by India on that occasion. Mohammad Eman Bean keeping a very strict eye on the Iran's attacking unit. And now through the center, Jafar in a bit of a duel there. And Eman does well, wins the ball. And now through the center, India tries to create something, but the cross needed to be a bit more precise. The direction was all over the place. We'll take a look. Jafar Asadi. There was a fine cross, and Mahan came up with a wonderful side volley. But Rajrup Sarkar, he won't be beaten so easily. Palmed the ball away. Kuru was nearby, and Kuru came up with that crucial clearance. But Iran, they're riding high on a wave of attacks. And India, it feels like they're almost against an unstoppable machine. And I think Viviano Fernandes, he kind of predicted that. He wants to ensure the fact that no matter what comes their way, they're ready for it. They're ready to try and push India back. Mahan again. Unfortunately, a very emasculated delivery forward. The Indian defense does well to cut short that supply. But not the best of relaunches, recycling back into the game from where at least they could have gone all guns blazing. Mahan plays it towards his right. Can be an opportunity for Iran. Delivers a cross, takes a deflection along the way. Nicely brought down by Jafar. But the Indian defense quick to close down the alley there. No room allowed, no space at all, not even an inch. That was nasty. That was nasty. Lesvin Rebello went charging in at the Iran attacker. The idea was to try and win the ball first. Looked like a head-on collision. We'll have to take a second look there. Mohammad Taha Kaviani and Lesvin Rebello colliding into each other, unfortunately. And a nasty follow-up as well. But let's just hope that these kids, they are absolutely fine. They are okay. Both the team's medical staff helping their players back on their feet. Rebello has been a very, very crucial element of the Indian team. and will like to continue that way, but now it's a free kick for Iran. India will have to be slightly more careful when it comes to conceding the attacks out here, because that's what Iran will be hoping for. They know that the resistance, the defiance that India is knitting together might just come undone only if they are able to sneak in one of those early goals. Because in crucial games like these, it's still the time you concede that opening goal where you keep on fighting, because the moment you concede, your shoulders start drooping and there's a bit of a change in momentum. Things can be otherwise, obviously. History doesn't always show you the way right. Iran, once again, just take a look at how quickly they are putting the numbers forward, and India somehow feels overwhelmingly outnumbered in their own defense. And now India might just have a chance. They need to keep their composure from the left. And they win in a throw-in. Gunliba once again running short of space, switching from the right to the left quickly. Lalam Sangsuala, he'll take his time. Gangte wrestling for the ball. Gangte does well to actually win it for his team. Cross towards the second post. No one from India. But finally they come a long way to eventually cover the distance. Decent work shown by Lesvin Rebello. Unfortunately, he was running short of space already, and Abbas Rafi wins it back for Iran. Just a few moments ago, I think the way India came in with the attack, they somehow feel that they are a bit too restless. They're always hurrying when they have the possession. And in football, we say, it goes without saying, obviously, these are young guys and they are just trying to learn the ropes of the game. So, but that being said, they need to learn a bit of composure, a bit of equanimity. Because the more restless you are on the ball, the more quickly you concede possession. We always say it's the first touch that makes the difference when you're trying to play a passing brand of football. Nonetheless, Iran now with another chance. They are not holding themselves back. That was a lovely move in the making from Iran. One shy at goal. The shooting lane cracked open. Unfortunately, couldn't really get the shot on target. India looks to be under some serious pump, and they'll have to come out of it. They'll have to wriggle free from the clutches of Iran. And will have to come up with something of their own, maybe. They do well to get the ball back in. Iran, they have the numbers. Lays it off towards the left where Jafar Asadi awaits. Asadi cuts in, and Mahan Beheshti trying to take one on the turn. Unfortunately skies it. The trio of Mahan Beheshti, Jafar Asadi, and of course Amir Reza Walipur has really troubled their oppositions throughout the tournament. And this is one particular trident that India needs to be very, very careful about. We'll take a look at what really happened out there. It was wonderfully chested down by Mukundo Singh, but then he got trapped between the duo of Mohammad Taha Kaviani and Poya Jafari. And now Iran, from the right, they have always been active, and so as well from the left. Both wings are like kind of fire trails for them. They've got bees buzzing, and they have got attackers hunting down. Once again, Lesvin Rebello trying to win the ball in Iran's attacking third. In Iran's defensive third, apologies. A good forward ball, a chance for Iran! And that should be the opener. Amir Reza Walipur, is it? Yes, it is. Wonderful first touch. We talked about composure. And Walipur shows what kind of magic composure can do. Misjudged. Missed out the flight of the ball as well. And Walipur, with a lovely first touch, set it up perfectly into his stride. ran rings around Kuru Mate, and then came up with a fine finish, sniped it into the bottom left corner. And Iran leads in this crucial encounter. Just the start that their coach would have wanted, just the start that Armagan Ahmadi would have loved to see. And now India, they'll have to come up with something massive, something big enough, if they are to break down the defensive solidity of Iran. Quick turns there from Mohammad Aman Bean. "20 minutes on the ticker. India trails, and looks like it's going to be very, very difficult for India from here on. But again, not everything's lost. That's a good forward ball. Lesvin Rebello does well to keep the ball in. Gets a bit of help. And a fine sliding tackle, denying Mukundu Singh a delivery into the center. Abbas Rafi, he's been one of those silent vigilantes, ensuring the fact that his team is never in trouble. Corner for India. Denny delivers it, trying to take a back volley possibly. But again, it definitely didn't really look like he was in position. Comes up with a minus from the right. Again, they had a couple of Iran players guarding that gateway. They could quickly close it down. Mukundu Singh once again with the chance. Needs to come up with a better corner actually. Needs a bit more power, a bit more elevation might be. Does get the elevation! Oh wow! This could have been one of those crazy moves there. India are keeping the pressure on. Mukundu Singh does well. But once again, solid defending from Iran. They don't go down so easily either. Mukundu with another corner. This time the trajectory not so promising. Aman tries to drive from quite some distance. Beating the Iran custodian from that big of a range is not easy. India might just try to control the ball. They aren't. Chested it down nicely. Unfortunately, lost possession early enough, and Iran once again wins the ball. This is exactly what we've been talking about. You got to keep hold of the possession. You can't just rush through. You can't just hope for that one fringe chance. That one chance where everything comes in sync, where everything works in consonance, and then you open up the goal. If you have to beat a team like Iran, you need to show a bit more belief in yourselves. You can't just lose possession just because there's pressure on you. You have to start scanning the perimeter. You have to start scanning your surroundings and see where can you lay the ball off. Mahan stays on the ball. Mahan with a bit of twist and turn, but India does well to recover possession. And now India, they charge in from the left. They have got some space. This can be a fine duel to savor. Nicely done, unfortunately. Couldn't really open things up. Iran once again quickly tracking down. They have some immense speed as well. And more importantly, they play a more direct brand of football. And Abbas Rafi trying to get past the watchful likes of Mohammad Aman Bean. But Mohammad Aman, he does well. Another throw in for Iran. India, ever since conceding the goal, they have come out a bit more than they usually were. They have started to roll themselves out of the defensive husk that they were kind of cocooned in early on. But they also realize, I think Bibiano Fernandes knows it well, merely deploying a low block brand of defense won't really get them the job done. They'll have to open things up. They'll have to come up with the counter attacks, and might just think about one of the most well-known statements ever made in the history of sports: attack is the best defense. So try and come up, try and launch a few probes into the Iranian half as well. See if Iran's got what it takes to stall if you can generate a relentless wave of attacks. That's better. Tries to swirl it forward. Nicely done, but again, it was miles away from Lesvin Rebello. Lesvin was trying to accelerate. Another quick throw and taken. Jafar Asadi. He does well. And once again, Iran, the moment they are on the ball, the way they come together, that is brilliant to witness. They quickly form the shape that makes them lethal. And that's what sets the two teams apart by poles. But India now might just have a shy. But just take a look at no one around. Almost single-handedly trying to break free from the maze that they found themselves caught in. And it won't be easy, but eventually well done. They've won in a throw-in. Amir Mahan Afroziani, he's looked pretty solid in terms of that position. And once again, a bit of a heavy touch out there. Results in the ball going out of play. Lomsang Zoala needs to do better than that. And now it's Iran's turn to try and hit India back. Bardiadori, in fact, still to be tested so far. On the other hand, Rajrup Sarkar, he's already come up with a handful of clutch saves to keep India afloat till the time they conceded. There was nothing that Rajrup could have done, at least on that occasion. And more importantly, I think Iran's physical nod ahead of the Indian players kind of gives them a bit of edge, but India will have to match it out. Couple of decent touches. Lays it off perfectly. Gangte trying to line one of those shots up. Still with Gangte. Lays it to the left. Cross comes in. Iran does well to clear out their defensive lines. And now Iran comes looking, but India's defense, they have things in control, at least on this occasion. It's going to be interesting to see if Viviano Fernandes, he can ask the Indian players. A bit of an injury concern there for Bardiadori. He's gone down. He also had a bit of challenge coming into the tournament, so he wasn't a part of the game against Lebanon. Came back in the last game. And you can see the crowd still not happy, obviously. I mean, India is trailing, so you can understand the emotions. But at the end of the day, if such numbers turn up, I think for these young kids, it's also a massive, massive boost as well. But then, when it comes to tacticalities, when we talk about the footballing finesse and flair, I think what's more important for India right now is to stick together as a team and not just rely on the long balls from the wings. The moment you get the ball out in the center, you can look for the passes nearby, because that will allow you to open up another dimension of the attack. Because when you only have the two wings to look forward to, if you take a look at the Iran's defense, the likes of Amir Mahan Afroziani, he's very strong on the wings. Similarly, Poya Esmi and Muhammad Ali Ranama, they also do a phenomenal job on the wings as well of diffusing the attacks. So the longer the balls you play, the easier it gets for Iran to try and cut short the supplies. So just maybe try and play a bit more passes through the center. Keep that possession to yourself. Again, it's kind of hard to try and bring out an entire paradigm shift in the way India has played throughout the tournament. They have relied on the crosses. They have relied on that wing play of theirs. But against a team like Iran, you need more fire. You need more speed on the wings if you have to beat them through that wing play itself. And if not, might just come up with a plan B as well. Oh, that was not needed. That was so not needed. The header came straight to him. There wasn't any Iran player watching by, so may have just gone for the ball with the simplest of tricks. He went for the rainbow flick and the ball went out, resulting in a throw-in for Iran. And now Jafar Asadi fails to connect with the ball, goes out of play. Goal kick for India. Iran knocking on the doors now from the right. Just take a look at how much ball control they have. They aren't going for the final pass unless they are overtly sure. And that is the difference. I mean, we always talk about the timing of the pass. Just because you have someone who can come up with the final pass, but he doesn't know the timing of the pass, then things can go horribly haywire. Mahan now, outside the box. Mahan does well. Mahan punches one! But Rajrup Sarkar once again, strong hand to it. Mahan Beheshti, time and time again, every single time, he spots a shooting alley. He fires a screamer. But Rajrup, once again showing his reflexes out there, does well and manages to palm it away. Half an hour of football has already gone by, and Iran very clearly the team calling the shots. But again, at times, India will also have to come up, because at the end of the day, this is a must-win match for them. There's no other alternatives. And there's still a lot of time in football. As we say, it's a masterclass of uncertainties. Anything can happen. Once again, a bit of a push from the back. If we take a clear look, I think right now what India needs to come up with is a bit more solidity out in the midfield, because the number of balls that's coming through the center, it's making Iran's life a lot more easier. India needs someone who can act as the fulcrum out in the center, someone who can shield the defense. And this might be one of India's go-to calls. That's well done. Does well to latch on to the ball here. Saram. Once again, India loses it out, but does well to recover. And this time overpowers the shot. Once again, the moment pressure starts coming in, I think India is having challenges. This is where they will possibly need to improve. At the end of the day, this tournament, it might just be the start for these youngsters. They've got a long way to go forward. The kind of heart that they show, it's impressive. But right now, what's on the line is a spot in the Asian Cup. Is a spot in the Asia Cup that's slated to be played next year in Saudi Arabia. And Bibiano Fernandes knows it well. And he knows as well that he'll have to climb a mountain if India are to turn things around, if India are to force a watershed. That's nicely done, but then India does well to track the ball and cut it short. Lays it off towards the far right. But that couldn't be a good run. Lesvin Rebello once again. It's the speed of Rebello that was kind of outmatched. We'll take a look there. Wonderfully done by Jafar Asadi. Asadi, we all know him, that he is one of that attacking powerhouse for Iran. But at the end of the day, how quickly he tracked back. This is how you win games. I think what Iran's doing well is that they know their roles very well. They have the clarity that if you lose the ball, try and win it back at the earliest possible. And try and put pressure as well. It doesn't matter if an attacker delves down into their own defense. And for a while, once again, that lack of clarity, that is kind of palpable. But nonetheless, India, in fact, concedes possession. Still with Iran. Not the best of touches. Now India, the first touch could have been better. Trying to break free, and they actually do well. Had a much better option on the left, almost open. And finally a shot on target, but straight into the hands of Badia Dori. You need better than that. It was Mukundo Singh coming up with the long ranger, but Dori does well. But I think India had a much better option. India had a much better chance if they could have released the ball onto the left. A more attacking intent could have been shown. This is where you need to pick your places right. I think if you are able to spot the simplest of pass, the easiest of pass, and the pass that will earn you a lot more space, I think then you open up dimensions that were only just wild imaginations. But nonetheless, Rajrup Sarkar has been a beacon of silver lining for India, and he continues to offer India a glimmer of hope like none other. Rebello does well, but India loses out possession so quickly. India does well actually to close things down. This is the kind of intensity that India should need. The understanding at the end of the day. That's very, very important. Chest it down. Couple of quick touches. Oh, India. They are relentless. They want to latch on to the ball with every possible atom in their body. They need to show the intensity. 35 minutes in the first half. Still 10 minutes to go in the regulation time, and whatsoever gets added on, apart from that one injury, the game has been pretty fluid. Delivers the cross. It was along the carpet. And India now starting to show a few signs of intent. Again, slightly weak there. And now Jafar Asadi from the left. Asadi with the cross, headed away by India. This is how menacing Iran can be on the attacks, on the breaks, of course. And India needs to be watchful. A switch in position for Gunliba. He's gone from the right to the left. At this time couldn't control it at all. Felt like that the ball had taken a bit of his hand as well. And that will be a foul for sure. Dalal Mohan Gangte this time trying to close things down for Abbas Rafi. And he did come up to him as well. Offered a hand that, just get on with it. But I think Rafi, he wanted a bit more time there. But this is really good to see. These youngsters, they understand one thing for sure, that the rivalry ends in the ground itself. Once again, it was the speed of Abbas Rafi that kind of compelled Gante to come up with that tackle. It was more of a trip from the back. Another fine crossfield ball towards the far right. Does well to control it. And a crucial header, gets it out of harm's way. And now Dalal Mohan Gante. Looks like he's taken a blow. And the game will have to hold up. We'll take a look once again. Gante did follow the ball. That was nicely done as well. Afroziani, is it? Poya Esme, in fact. Esme came a long way up. Viviano Fernandez, you can clearly see he's worried about the current situation. Knows the fact that knew the fact from the start it wouldn't be easy, because Iran, they are a pretty formidable side. But I think if there's one thing that India has always had in their repertoire, that's belief. And belief and hope, they say, like the way it's a dangerous thing, similarly, it's a beautiful thing as well. The Iran coach, Armaghan Ahmadi, he always keeps on talking with his players. And I think young kids like these, they'll need a bit of direction. The kind of investment that your preceptor has in the game as well also has some serious impact on the game. Same with Viviano Fernandez. He's a very good observer of the sport. Make no mistake, Fernandez, he's managed India under 17 before. He's done India under 20 as well. And he took over from Lewis Norton de Matos and has guided India to 3 under 15 SAF championships. which is no mean feat. But right now, it all boils down to this. Another long ranger, Abbas Rafi. He wanted to try his luck from distance, but couldn't really get the target practice right. Another phenomenal first start. Just take a look at how much gap is out there, how much space Abbas Rafi could actually save up before he took the shot. There was no Indian defender coming forward. Ideally, when your opposition has the ball, you have to close down the gaps. These are rudimentaries, and this is something that you have to do well. The more gap you allow your opposition, especially in this defensive third, is where you start conceding possession as well. And for a team like Iran, who's got phenomenal shooters in their side, that is a strict taboo. You just cannot afford to give them so much space. Nicely done. Latches onto the ball, but India eventually cuts the shot. And now India hoping to launch a counter-attack of their own. Unfortunately, they will not have the space to drive forward. Gunliba running into a cul-de-sac, into a bit of a blockade, to be honest. Decent forward ball, but just take a look at where Saram has been stuck. It felt like he was stranded on an island with no help coming at all. And Iran now, they hold the ball. Unfortunately, they couldn't bring the ball back in play. They already had someone out in the center. I think India is kind of hesitant here to pour the numbers forward. This might happen in the second half, or let's say after the 60-minute mark, where India eventually will realize that if they are not taking the risk, if they are not pouring numbers forward, chances will start dimming. Another exquisite delivery. Lesvin Rebello does well with that first touch. Rebello will have to be quick. Comes up with the cross. But then the trajectory of the ball could have been better. Straight into the hands of Bardia Dore. Came out of his line, gripping the ball. These are the chances that India will be looking forward to. If the wing play is the only answer that they have got, then these are the chances. But again, the delivery has to be a lot more clinical, a lot more accurate. And India now winning a free kick. Mohammad Aman Bean trying to win the ball, jammed into the opposition. We'll take a look there. Nicely done. And that was, I wouldn't say a nasty challenge, but definitely a powerful one. There by India, getting a free kick. A chance for them to drive forward as well. An opportunity to shake things up. Final few minutes of regulation time in the first half. Iran with the lead. A great finish from Amireza Walipur is what got them in the driver's seat. And now Iran, Jafar Asadi, trying to make his way through the left, but wonderfully shielded. That's some quality body shielding there from Mukundo Singh. Mukundo Singh and Lesvin Rebello, they have paired up well on the right wing. And this is the kind of link up you want, but you also need Lesvin Rebello or maybe Mukundo Singh to come up with better crosses. Their defensive responsibilities they are taking care of. Rebello does well actually to find Gante through the center. Gante hoping to release it towards the left where Gunliba waited. It was a tad too late to release the ball. And also not the best of deliveries either. But India, since conceding that goal, they have looked a bit more attacking. Again, too rushed. He had space ahead of him there. Saram, all he needed to do was just possibly move forward. When you have the ball, when you have some space, the footballing fundamentals dictate you run forward, create more space, and try and come closer to the goal, because then your chances will be a lot more accentuated. Oh, that's a wonderful receive there. Couple of touches outside the box. Bit of a back flick. Delivers the cross, but once again, looked like there was a deflection, in fact, yes. And India, they won a corner. And another set piece towards the end of the first half, 44 minutes on. Once again, nice bit of work, to be honest, from Afruziani. But now India, can they make the most of this corner? Sends it curling into the traffic. First touch, shot comes in, blocked away. Gangte looking forward. This can be a chance for India. Brought down, referee blows the whistle, penalty. A gilt-edged opportunity for the boys in blue to restore parity. Iran Gamba Saram. He was not really having a great day in office, but what he's done is the most ideal thing. He's earned the penalty for his team. Gante with a crucial header, and Saram just taking it away. Unfortunately caught in the trap of the Iranian duo. And the Iran defense not coming up with a decent clearance either. It was Mohammad Taha Kaviani with a bit of a miscued, with a bit of a clueless header, to be honest. And now India, they have a chance to restore parity. And who else than Gante? Dalal Mohan Gante. And Bardia Dori has his task cut out. Gante makes no mistake. World order restored in Ahmedabad. Parity restored as India fights their way back. The fans delighted, elated. Clinical finish, sending Bardia Dori in a different direction. Dalal Moon Gante fires home. And that's his fourth goal of the tournament. An element of fortune won by Hiran Gamba Saram. And then Gante stepping up, as clinical, as promising as it gets. Whack into the net. And from here on, India, they will be hoping to go forward. A chance for Iran though. And another clinical tackle. India should be super stoked now. Another cross. Rajrup comes out of his line. Oh my word, could have been an unwanted complication. But India stays alive. This is unbelievable. Crazy end-to-end action. And Rajrup Sarkar tested straight away. It just tells you that how quickly Iran can hit you back. And that's the end of the first half. You can hear the roar of the fans here. And why not? India walk into the tunnel, all fair and square, locked in, a 1-1 impasse in Ahmedabad. Still a long way to go. Iran will be happy despite conceding, because a draw will take them to the next round. India needs a victory, and India will have to work hard. But as things stand at the end of first half, India won, Iran won. Amir Reza Walipur opened up the scoring for Iran. And then it was Dalal Mohan Gante stepping up from the spot, converting a fine penalty. We'll take a quick breather, everyone. Stay tuned to FIFA Plus. We'll be back with the second half shortly enough. All happy, all delighted? He's the one who opened the scoring. Referee's got his eyes on the ticker. And off we roll in the second half. And after the customary shuffle, just to give you all a quick heads up, India will be attacking on the frame from the right to the left in their signature blue, as we call them the Blue Tigers, and Iran from the left to the right in their signature whites. Whatever has happened in the first half, it's done. Now it's a battle of these 45 minutes. And just to give you all a quick heads up, head-to-head is what the criteria is here. So whichsoever team wins this game will qualify. So even if India can manage a victory by the narrowest of margins, the most slender margin that you think about, a one-goal victory, the gates to glory will open for them once again. And that is why they'll have to believe. But Iran, they don't go down so easy. Cutting in, trying to open up some space. Fine ball in the box, but wonderful clearance there. Lovely sliding tackle, timed to perfection. The Indian defense will have to be a bit more commanding here, a bit more assertive, at least in terms of snatching the ball, not allowing Iran to create that space just outside the box there, because every single time Iran latches onto the ball, they start bringing the numbers forward because they can afford a draw. So they'll be happy if needed. They'll be happy to sit back in their own half and possibly deploy a low block defending if needed. But now India, they have committed a howler. And Iran comes once again rushing into the attack. Valipur with the shot. Rajrup Sarkar denies him. What an incredible game has this been for Rajrup. You throw a planet at him today and he'll stop it as well. He's turned into that unbreakable wall. Impenetrable, to say the least. But again, it's not just his job as well. Iran with another shot. And Rajrup does well. But I reckon the ball has gone on to hit the crosspiece. Iran looks like they have come up or come out in the second half with a lot more intent. And they can be absolutely menacing when they come forward with the ball. So the Indian defense, they need to come together in unison, in tandem, in perfect consonance. Iran through the center. But India, wonderful snatching, and who else than their skipper? Finds a bit of option onto his left as well. Gunliba finds Gangte again. Gangte with a gentle push forward. Gunliba has got some space on the left, looking for a couple of step overs. Tries to come up with a cross, but denied by Iran. Gunliba now starting to show the urgency that India possibly will have to come in with if they are to go from dots to demons. Gangte. Gunliba looking for space. Drops it back to Sangzuala. Sangzuala, not the best of crosses to be honest. A miscued hit, missing its mark. We'll take a look. Just a few moments ago, Iran's attack. Afrasiabi laying it off for Valipur. Rajrup Sarkar extending his arms. In fact, it was Afrasiabi himself who went for the shot. But lucky for India, the woodwork came along the way. Iran's a lot more desperate to get back into the lead. And the thing with Iran is that they can. Because even in the last game when Palestine was leading, not only did they equalize, they also went on to win the game as well. So India, whatsoever chances come their way, they'll have to take them. They'll have to at least try and compound the numbers. You can see the fans pretty excited. I think in Gujarat recently, a lot of football has been happening. And Eka Arena has been the epicenter of it. From the Gujarat Super League itself. A lot of games of the youth has also happened in the Eka Arena. And now the AFC qualifiers, under 17 qualifiers, obviously a massive one. And now Iran, they do well to win it back. Mahan Beheshti, 2 versus 4. Just take a look at the composure of Mahan. Unfortunately, the shot that comes in takes a deflection along the way, gets a bit of an awkward bounce. And Rajrup Sarkar, quick to come out of his line there and collect the ball. He's been India's best bet so far. He's got strong arms, got excellent reflexes. But he'll need support from his defenders as well. That's what he'll be hoping for. Oh, that's a lovely ball forward. Gunliba, can he make it though? Unfortunately, the final touch, it came of Gunliba. And it's going to be a goal kick for Iran. We'll take a look. Gunliva was trying to converge, but wonderfully defended by Afroziani. It's not easy to beat Afroziani. Very talented young sensation. And more importantly, packs a mean punch. Launches it forward. That's a cheap concession. Oh my word, India should have done better. India should have done better. If there was a moment calling for them to get back where they should have been, this was the moment. We talked about this before. Another mistake. Gunliva, he's got some space. Gunliva goes for the shot, and Gunliva has beaten the Iranian goalkeeper. Oh my word, it's a dream turnaround. It came against the tide of the play, and it came from a mistake. But the Indian fans are roaring, and so is India. It doesn't matter if it isn't aesthetic. It doesn't matter if it isn't beautiful. What matters is that the ball has crossed the line and rattled the net. A yellow card as well for Gunliva, and that's because of the celebration. He took off his jersey. There you go, the confirmation. You can see the fans soaking it in. That is a costly mistake, and not once but twice. Late reaction coming in from Badi Adori. And out of nowhere, India's dropped a thunderbolt. Gunliva making no mistake. Possibly a tribute to his superhero, Lionel Messi, who will be coming in India later in the year. And all fans are also eagerly waiting for that. One goal, one nation, one dream. And India's kind of living for that right now. Another one of those long crosses, another mistake. Completely misjudged the flight of the ball. Feels like suddenly the Iran defense, they have ran into a bit of frenzy. And the composure, the equanimity we talked about in the first half, that has simply evaporated. Or would you believe that? Another cross from the right. That's a thumping clearance there from Shubham Punia. He knows no more chances can be given. And if Iran has to find one, they'll have to fight with their lives on the line. Mohan Beheshti with the corner. Beheshti delivers it. India repels it away. And Gunliva this time loses out possession. Another fine delivery towards the far side. Eludes Amir Reza Walipur on the first go. Throw in. Quickly taken. Controlled by Denny Singh. India needs to be careful. Just because they are ahead for now doesn't mean that they will walk away of this as well. The Iran attack, they are a very well orchestrated attack. A bit of an injury concern there with the Lal Mohan Gante. It's taken a blow to his waist out there. The referee possibly having a chat with Jafar Asadi. I think Gante, he's possibly trying to have a word with the referee. He's saying that I was the one blown by a massive knee to my back. Yeah, he needs to calm himself down. He possibly was asking for a card out there. I think there was a bit of an elbow coming in from Amir Reza Walipur. But he needs to focus on the game. Gante comes up with a forward ball from the free kick. Lesvin Rebello in a tussle. His counterparts. One back by Gante. Gante comes up with another forward ball. Headed away to safety. Falls back for India. India needs a bit more time on the ball. Another cross attempted, but blocked away by Iran. And finally, Bardia Dori coming out of his line and wrapping his gloves around the ball. Yeah, Dori is possibly asking his players, run in, run in. Let's create something. Let's create magic. Iran wins it back. Valipur. But wonderful block. Unfortunately, the ball's fallen back for Iran again. From the left, can they come up with the cross? Jafar Asadi. And Asadi fails to break the Indian shield. Wonderful body shielding once again. There were two Indian players converging on that one ball. And that's the kind of communication that you want in the rear guard. India looking really good now. At least convinced, at least with a lot more self-belief than they had in the first half. That's good to watch. Very good to watch. Asadi from the left, but still unable to clear the Indian duo of defense on the left wing as well. India now persistent. Another cross, another block. It was Mukundo Singh who was not going to allow Iran to walk into their box straight up. Another fine ball, and it is an all-elusive delivery. Couple of quick maneuvers from Kuru Matei, Rajrup Sarkar, and they eventually realized the ball was nowhere close to the goal, so they can simply let it slide. Bibiano Fernandez still focusing on the long balls. Beheshti through the center. That's a lovely bit of work out there from the right. And before Afroziani can steer the ball in, he had a blockade ahead of him. Unfortunately, the clearance never really came. Throw in for India. They are now dropping deep. Are they getting into a bit of a low block here? Another clearance from Bardia Dori. The first touch wasn't as promising as it could have been from Saram. A little bit of a tumble there. Couple of fine touches. Iran knitting together another well-orchestrated attack. Time can very well be India's best friend now. Still a long way to go though. Every minute out here for India will feel like an eternity. Every minute for Iran will feel like a millisecond running by till the time they get the equalizer, because now it's advantage India. They've got a lead. Now India looks a lot more systematic out in the second half, at least in terms of their defense, maintaining that shape, and when they are coming up with the long balls, they are looking forward at who are the players who can make the difference, who can impinge the game. Iran possibly trying to slow things down. Launches another one of those balls forward. India will take those long balls on any given day. But I think Kante could have done better, at least with that clearance. Wanted to come up with a cheeky back flick, or a heel flick is what we call in the argot of football. Nicely done by India. Oh, that's wonderful. Brilliant touch football. And now trying to make another one of those chances count from the left. Decent acceleration from Gunliba. But then runs into Afroziani once again. And Afroziani with a decent clearance. The fans are now on their toes. They know that India is starting to believe. Can they get an insurance goal here? That would be incredulous. And if that happens, it goes without saying the decibel levels might just crack the sky into two. But Iran, they're well protected. Their defense, well coordinated. And here they come. A bit of space there for Jafar Asadi. But the Indian defenders, they do well. They do well to maintain that shape as well. It was a slightly acute delivery for Asadi to make the most of. Not going for the final tackle is what India should be focusing on, at least at such a distance. Oh my word, this can be challenging. Afroziani, eyes for the second post. But that was a rudderless shot. Not really sure if he wanted to come up with a cross. Not really sure if he wanted to come up with the ball into the stride of one of his teammates. India, oh my word, that shouldn't have happened. India needs to do better. India have just scored from a mistake like that. And they simply cannot come up with a dead ringer of the same. It takes an eternity of wait and diligence to arrive to this particular juncture. The least of the things that they should not do, at least here, is try and play it into the opposition, that too in the final third. Valipur lays it off for Jafar. Jafar trying to cut in, and what a wonderful clearance again. Brilliant from Mohammad Aman Bean. The confidence, the panache was so good to watch. And another fine run attempted there from the right by Lomsung Zuala. Unfortunately, he runs into a bit of a gate there. Excuse me for the same. That's some good ship shape defending there from India. Just trying to hold on to that structure of theirs. Again, a forward ball attempted. Iran wins it back though. And India, clean enough. But Iran as well, they don't lose the ball so easy. Iran does well. Couple of step overs, brought down. India now conceding a free kick. Referee blows the whistle. Ahmed Hossein Taife has come on in the second half, and he was caught by the Indian rearguard. We'll take a look there. A couple of step overs made. And then Dalal Mohan Gante coming up with a challenge, kind of compelled. Mohan Beheshti will be the one possibly tasked with the onus of laying it off for one of his teammates, or might just go for a direct shot as well. 3-man wall in front of him. He's got Gante, he's got Mukundo Singh, and he's got Saram. Beheshti, he's been asked to hold on. Right then, the whistle comes in. Beheshti, and Rajroop gets a crucial hand to it. Looked like it might have just steered out, but Rajroop didn't want to take any chance. Yeah, gets a very crucial hand to it and knocks it out. It definitely had an element of curl to it, thereby kind of complicating the doubts on India's mind. Jafar Asadi now at the corner. Rajroop palms it away. And Iran, they had a lot of numbers in that box. If India could have just won it, you never know. Another counter was in the making. But they have to be sated right now with that own defense of theirs. The structure holds solid. Quick exchanges. Gunliba plays a cross-field ball, and a pretty long one at that. And a header straight into the hands of Bardia Dori. Oh no, not that kind of clearance. I think he had no pressure on him. Could have just launched the ball forward. These are the small mistakes that Iran's waiting for. They are like predators, Beheshti almost opened up a shooting lane, but then India does well to close it down. And now India are chasing the ball. Again, a lead extremely slender, but a lead that's making India believe. But belief is not everything in football. Execution as well plays a crucial part. So the Indian defense, right now, they are very compact. Apart from a couple of mistakes hither and yon, that happens at times. But that compactness, that strong structure has to remain where it is. They'll have to control the rhythm. They'll have to control the tempo of the game. The quicker they play, it'll be more like walking into the trap that Iran wants them to walk into. Asadi. And the referee's blown the whistle. Looks like Asadi was caught in an offside trap. We'll take a look there. I wanted to line things up. Unfortunately, things didn't go his way. 24 crucial minutes. And from there, whatsoever gets added on. If India doesn't find an insurance goal, they protect this lead with their lives. Because that is what can bring them close to the gates of history. But Iran, they're also menacing. Another cross from the left. India stops it. Trying to go for a shot on the volley. Rajrup will have some work to do. And he channeled his inner Mike Tyson there. Punching it away. A terrific right-hand cross. There you go. Followed the ball. Was not allowing Amin Hussain Tayefe to make an impact. That's crucial. That is so crucial. Rajrup Sarkar continues to deliver India out of the troubles, out of the quagmires, out of the jeopardies over and over again. What a talented young goalkeeper he is. Strong hands, strong physique, an eminent shot stopper in the making. And more importantly, the anticipation of Rajrup Sarkar, it's so good to watch. I think at times you need performances like this. And India now, as mentioned before, will be hoping to slow things down, control the tempo, try and kill the rhythm of the game. Because that's what Iran wants to happen. Iran wants to have. And looks like India will come up with a crucial change. India wants a bit more power, firepower in their unit. Rahan Ahmed makes his way to the center. Corner comes in, Rajrup pummels it away. And India straight away with a long clearance. A bit of a tussle for the ball. Rahan Ahmed. Can he get a hold of the ball there? Fighting with Abbas Rafi. Unfortunately, Rahan comes up with a bit of a hefty push there. And this has led to a free kick for Iran. We'll take a look. Rahan coming in fresh. Injected into the mix to bring in that pace. Bring in the fury. Through the wings again. And this time the assistant referee spotting that push. Another throw in. 20 minutes of some crazy drama awaiting us. And Afroziani won't make it. India very, very sensible right now. That's all that India has to do. Just be sensible. And if needed, put their lives in the line of fire. Because Iran, they'll come up with a few long ranges of theirs. Another mistake. Again, that ball could have been better. There was no pressure on him. Just could have controlled the ball. Possibly played a couple of square passes. They wanted to come up with an attack straight away. Not always will it work, particularly against a team like Iran. They are very well coordinated. When you have the chance, when you don't have any pressure, you might just try and make it count. Lesvin Rebello trying to come up with that bicycle kick. But again, running short of space on that occasion. A nice header. India Finds Gunliba once again, but Gunliba, he manages to get hold of Gante. Gante with a very gentle nick forward, but again a bit too heavy. You can clearly see the restlessness now starting to build in Armagan Ahmadi's visage. Gante wins it back. Right through the center. Where was the delivery headed? Of course, it was targeted for or intended for Rahan, but Rahan doesn't get a hold of it. Iran doesn't really look promising now when they come forward on the attacks, but India will have to make it count, because simply blind clearances at times can lead to a bit of problem for them. They don't want to give the ball away. Again, a bit of an injury concern on that occasion. Looks like Mukundo Singh is the one who needs a bit of treatment. India, they need to keep an eye out for Iran's mistakes. And if they get one, you never know. That third goal might just come in, and that can very well be the end of the game. But till the time they have it, this lead is all that they have. This lead feels like they are the last beings on the planet staving off an alien invasion. That's what the context is. So they'll have to give it their all. Their every single weapons in the arsenal needs to be primed and hot in order to fire. Iran, on the contrary, they know that a draw is all that they need. So they will be pushing hard for the equalizer. And there's still a lot of time for them. Still 18 minutes. And believe me, in the footballing lexicon, 18 minutes equals an eternity. India getting another change ready. Diamond Singh Thokchom is the one gearing up. So India needs a bit more speed through the center as well, because Diamond, he can play through the center if needed. Another important name that India will possibly be looking forward to is Azlan Shah. He's another brilliant forward, but I think this can possibly be the last attacking change. India might be now resorting to a bit of defense of their own, a bit of a trip over, and another crucial, a few seconds will be added to India's time. Free kick for India. Iman Bean or Gante is it going to be? It's going to be Gante, of course. Gante sends it forward and sends it into the wilderness. It needs to be a bit more clinical. Gante, he's had a very good game, no questions about that. 17 minutes to go. Every single minute that goes by and Iran doesn't restore parity, Iran will be more frustrated once again. Caught in the high line. Looks like India now starting to switch to a bit of a high line, vis-a-vis what India usually does. That slot into their own box. In fact, it looks like there was a handball. The ball had an awkward bounce to it. And it took Mahan Beheshti by surprise. That's another good long ball. Good twist there from Gunliba. Gunliba can very well turn out to be a dream hero for these Indian kids. And a throw in for India. Lomsong Zuala is going to come in with the throw. But for now, Iran makes a couple of changes as well. Amir Reza Walipur, the one who scored the opener, has been brought off. And Mohammad Hosseini Hazali Akbari comes in. And so does Mohammad Ghasemi. Iran now focusing on their attack. And in games like these, believe me, over-aggression can cost you. At times, too much of numbers invested forward might just open up avenues in the defense. And now Iran once again coming up in numbers. India tracking back, does brilliantly out there. This is what you want to see them over and over again. India quickly falling back just to hold on to the shape of theirs. Because Iran, it goes without saying that they want the equalizer. And India as well, bringing on a couple of changes. It has been a great game for Lesvin Rebello. And Lesven will be making his way out. We talked about Diamond Singh Tokchom. And Diamond's all set to come on. Looks like another change has also been loaded. Mukondo Singh won't be playing any more part in this fixture. And out in the center walks Azlan Shah. We talked about him. Looks like India is also coming up with a couple of their attacking maneuvers. That's interesting, intriguing. Bibiano Fernandes doesn't want to be intimidated. He wants to fire back. He wants to come up with a retaliation. And he wants that insurance goal at all costs. Well, things getting a bit too heated. Mahan Beheshti delivers the cross. But again, brilliant block by Sangzuala. And that has been lauded loudly enough by the Indian fans. Another corner. Another possible seed of possibility. Beheshti calls it into the traffic. The header goes horribly haywire for Iran. And now India. Oh, looks like things have got on a bit of a wrong footing. Referee's blown the whistle. I think it's a bit of a... Oh my word. Could have been a collision at the back of the head. Medical attention will be needed. The referees urging the medicals to come out in the center. The medical officials. Let's just hope that he's okay. Because this is one particular injury that FIFA and every single sports body has been taking care of. A concussion check is going out in the center. That is very, very important. Looks like he's all right, but he'll need some time. We'll take a look once again. There comes the corner from Mahan Beheshti. Yeah, I think he slammed his head into the Indian defender there. Oh, yes. In fact, Indian defender was out there, and so was his teammate as well. So he gone forward with a head-on collision, and that can be really agonizing. I think he's going to be okay, just need a few more seconds to catch his breath, and that's okay with India as well. You can see the Indian fans extremely excited and revved up. Can India hold on? Let's say, inclusive of the added time, we get 20 more minutes of action coming up. India latches onto the ball, comes up with a crossfield delivery, but for whom? Straight into the hands of Bardia Dori. Bardia Dori still looking where can he send the ball. India is definitely okay with that. Let them waste the time and we'll reap the rewards. Is possibly what Bibiano Fernandes will be telling his teammates. And if India goes on to win this game, this is one particular game that even myth makers possibly wouldn't have dreamed in their wildest of imaginations. But again, those discussions will keep it for the end. Because these 11 minutes, they'll be crucial for both the sides. And this time, a bit of a tug from the back. Referee awards a free kick. Again, it was Lomsung Zuala. Or with the tug there on Afroziani. Beheshti will be delivering the free kick there. Ahead of him, India has got Rohan Ahmed. He'll definitely have to step back to carve open the space. Rohan all set. Beheshti! Fine header. Denies him at near post. Beheshti keeps on driving, lays it off for his teammate. And before he could fire the shot, wonderful block again by Denny Singh. And finally Gante with a thumping clearance. He's stoking the fans. Rise everyone, rise in Archer. Let's see what the Blue Tigers can do. Let's roar together in consonance. Let's bring the sky down in the Ekai Arena in Ahmedabad. Couple of quick touches. Plays it towards the far right. Headed away just in the nick of time. Lamsung Zuala now involved in the defensive duties here. And he's turning out into one of the defensive heroes, at least for now. Afroziani. Iran finds some space on the left. And now through the center, they want to run forward, but the Indian defenders quickly closing things down. The battle for the ball continues. Lets it onto the left, trying to come up with a cross, but blocked away. Throw in for Iran. And Rahan does well. Could have actually gone forward with the run itself, but wanted to check his run. Another long ball towards the far right. Should have been better from Aslan Shah. Should have followed the ball at least and went for it till the very end. Iran now banking on a three-man defense. Afroziani launches it forward. And a quick movement as well from Denny Singh. And the referee quickly laying down the law on that occasion. Couple of quick touches there, Iran. They do well. They latch on to the ball, but India does well too. And now India just nudging it. This can be a chance for Gunliba. But before he could latch on to the ball, a fine defensive clearance there from Mohammad Taha Kavyani. Good sliding tackle. And India, just the way it should be, taking all the time in the world. Sangzuala loops it forward, chests it down, throw in. Another one of those forward balls. Controls it well enough. And that's wonderful. Brilliant, to be honest, from Mohammad Aman Bean. He's come alive in the second half. Throw in for Iran. Quickly taken. Jafar Asadi wanted to go aerial. India somehow keeps it at bay. Now through the center. Poya Esmi. Beheshti. Looking for that shooting space. Goes for one. But that will head straight to Mars. Another chance went begging. And India will breathe a massive sigh of reprieve. India sending it downtown. Could have taken a bit more time, to be honest. A bit of confusion, a bit of chaos now. Iran possibly trying to recycle things back. And that's what India wants. The farther the ball stays away from their own defense. A gentle trip forward. Gunliba is trying to track it. But once again, decent clearance there from Poya Esmi straight into the hands of Bardia Dori. Jafar trying to control that, but India once again playing the number game out here, and eventually does well. 5 minutes remain on the ticker. The ball with a bit of an awkward bounce. India desperate, but Iran wins it back as well. And now they have some space from the left. Good follow through there from Ayman, to be honest. Another cross. Not the best of headers, kind of emasculated, but that will do. India now chasing windmills, but that's okay with them till the time they can keep Iran out of contention. Lovely turn, takes a shot from range, but once again fails to hit the bullseye. The desperation, the frustration, palpable on the visage of the Iranian captain, Mahan Beheshti. He's definitely not happy. And looks like another change has been made. Gunliba won't take any more part in this game. In India, adding Abhishek Kumar. So, defensive reinforcements finally making their way to the center. India makes their intentions loud and clear. If a chance comes knocking for them, they'll take it. But for now, it's all defense. It's all about the back line holding strong. And if needed, they'll not just park a bus, but a rocket too. In that Fort Knox of theirs. And Iran will have to come up with their own maneuvers to try and break free. A gentle switch to the left. Iran still looking for spaces, but India, persistent, adamant. They're not going to allow Iran to come in so easily. Couple of back knocks as well. Iran now just trying to play with the tempo that they had from the start. A bit more controlled instead of just blindly driving it forward with fury. But the Indian defense as well. They're playing a much more physical brand of football now, and that's exactly what's supposed to be. India's doing what they do the best. They know that Iran has the speed factor in their sails. And looks like Iran has also made a change. So Jafar Asadi won't be a part of this game anymore. Amir Taha Mohammadi comes in. Well, that actually could have been a very good ball if it wouldn't have struck the back of the head of the Indian player. Pushes it to the right. Got options. Trying to cut in and line one of those long ranges up. But the Indian defenders increasing the numbers out on the far right. Does well to close the gate for now. Another long ranger straight into Rahan Ahmed. And Rahan blocks. Throw in for Iran. Just take a look at India. Entirely in their own half. And as they say, horses for courses. Right now, that is exactly the horses for courses that India will be hoping. Wanted to be cheeky and come up with a bit of 1-2 play there. Doesn't really work out. Gante does well to track it and eventually cut the supply. Another fine forward ball. Curls it to the center. After this, a minute of regulation time and then whatsoever gets added on. And it's going to be crucial, to be honest. Another one of those crosses come in. India with the clearance as well. Beheshti through the center. Couple of quick touches before releasing it to the far right. Nicely done. A gentle chip into the box and a header towards the second post. But way too elevated. India will take that for sure. Amir Hussain with the cross towards that far post. And Mohammad Ghassemi comes up with the header. Unfortunately, couldn't channel it right. How many more minutes will be added on? That still remains the question. Let's say 7 to 8. It's still a lot of time. It was a bit of a long chase with Diamond Singh. But Diamond doesn't make it. Iran wins it back. A bit of a duel for the ball. But Iran does well to keep it under control. From the left, they come again. And another knock forward. It's going to be a throw-in. Apologies, a corner actually. You can see Bardia Dori. He's tensed. And as the confirmation that we have received, 5 minutes of additional time has been given. A bit of a pre-corner ritual by Amir Hussain. Prayers offered. Will the prayers be answered? Rajroop gets a crucial hand. India's prayers have been answered. And it was Rajroop's hand that kept Iran away once again. And I think the Indian players are complaining of something. We'll take a look. There comes the corner. It was curling in viciously. But Rajroop makes no mistake. What an excellent game of football he's had today. And being a goalkeeper, he'll have to be treated on the ground itself. That's what the FIFA rules suggest. You can see the smiles on the faces of the Indian fans. Why not? Why not? They are inching closer. They are inching closer to that dream of theirs. And despite the fact anything can happen, you have to believe. That's what football is all about. A few fans walking out. It's pretty late already. But then this is where the game takes a shape of a thriller, of a cinema, if you might say. And the footballing gods are the possible directors. Iran with another cross forward. India with another header. Trying to open up space from the right. A couple of pushes. They don't want to concede penalty, and they haven't. They haven't. There were 4 players guarding Amir Hussain Taife's path in the center. And they've done well to keep it away. Mahan Beheshti with the corner again. Time's running out. Floats it in. Rajroop came out of his line. This time, however, he went for a spinner Rooney. And India straight away dropping it into the Iranian box. They don't want to come out attacking now. They want to defend with all hands on deck. Beheshti on the ball. Beheshti launches it forward. And that's another corner. Iran's asking for handball. Referee says, step up for the corner. We'll take a look once again. And here's another chance, another set piece for Iran, another test for India. Amir Taha Mohammadi is going to be the one to call it in. Will be a bit of a hold up there. And a yellow card as well shown on the sidelines. We'll quickly confirm who's the one that has received the card. A quick change of personnel. Looks like Beheshti himself will be going for that out curler instead of the in-swinger. Too many stoppages. Cacophony in the center. For India, every passing second is a cacophony of joy. For Iran, it's a call for help. It's a call for urgency. India clears it away. Another long ranger attempted, but that's a very miscued hit, to be honest. And India secures their lines. Iran throwing everything possible. Every single option that they have in their rations. Hoping to break the Indian deadlock. Hoping to break the Indian defense. And India absolutely resolute. Another long ball in the box. India gets a clearance. Beheshti fails to hit the volley. Trying to go for the glorious. Doesn't work out. Iran misses out. And now India wins the ball back. Another long clearance. Into the Iranian box. All the way to Bardia Dori. Dori launches it forward. Falls back for Iran. Trying to be cheeky. Trying to lay it down along the carpet. And that's it! The dreams have been secured. Would you believe that? Tonight in Ahmedabad, a young India has taken a giant step into tomorrow. They came wounded, questioned, pushed to their limits, and they answered with courage that belied their age. These boys, these dreamers, have unlocked the gates to Asia with hearts that refuse to shrink. As the nation watched on, amazed, a new chapter today has been written by hands that are still learning to write history. And they'll need bigger pens for Asia Cup 2026. Saudi Arabia beckons. Defying fate, defying destiny, India has made it to the main rounds of the tournament. Exhilaration in one corner, dance of madness, shots of glory, and despair in another. Iran tried and they tried hard. Unfortunately, they couldn't hit the right chord. And Bibiano Fernandes, the man of the moment, he's done the unthinkable. Ladies and gentlemen, remember this night, for it may very well be the prologue to something far greater, something mind-blowing, something historic, something remarkable. Tears flowing down the cheeks of the youngsters. Not the spectacles you want to see, but again, you got a feel for Iran. They pushed and they pushed hard. They fought with everything possible. Every last atom in their body arrived at this very juncture. They were clearly in the driver's seat ahead of this game, and I think you got to feel for them. You got to really feel for them. Amir Mahana Friziani, he's had a great tournament. And Rajrup Sarkar coming up. But today, if India has one player who changed the game entirely, it was Rajrup Sarkar. It's kind of hard for them. It's kind of hard for Iran. And you can literally feel them have to be carried around because the weight of this defeat is a bit too overwhelming. These are heartbreaking scenes for sure. They put everything on the line. They fought with intensity. Unfortunately, not all fights will get you across the line. India kept their belief. India kept on doing everything possible. When you play a game, you win some, you lose some. That's how the nature of the game works. But India, what a phenomenal performance this has been. Yes, not the best of performances, not the most aesthetic performances, to be honest. But again, at times in football, it's how you get it done. That's what matters. Just get it done. And Bibiano Fernandes definitely will soak in all the emotions here. And you can see the Indian players circling around with the Indian flag flying high, fluttering high. Let the Indian flag remain as high as possible, fluttering as undulatingly as possible in the air. For Asia, here comes India, the Blue Tigers. Watch out, and watch out for the dreamers who know how to believe. They fought truly well, truly well. And you can hear the fans absolutely delighted. Why wouldn't they be? This moment doesn't come to you daily. This moment is rare. It's like Halley's Comet. It's where you write history all together. Everyone present in the stands will be a part of this historic moment as India qualifies for the Under-17 Asian Cup Saudi Arabia 2026. Let the thunderclaps roar. Let the celebrations begin. And thank you everyone who've joined in with us. From the ground, from the screens of FIFA Plus, this moment, and also to the ones who couldn't join because of certain obligations, but at the end of the day, in their heart, they hold India dearly. This moment is what you savor. This moment is what you hold very close to your heart, what you embrace. This is a moment straight from the dreams. Let it soak in, guys. Let it soak in. A heartfelt thank you to everyone who made this tournament a possibility. A heartfelt thank you to everyone for the wonderful organization of the tournament. A heartfelt thank you to FIFA Plus for broadcasting this tournament to millions and millions of fans who couldn't make it to the stadium. And at the end of the day, thank you AIFF for once again making a dream come true and definitely holding strong. Let these young kids enjoy themselves. For this night, it belongs to them. They have worked so hard for this moment. This is a moment of joy. This is a moment that will remember sketched in their minds. And a lot of these young kids will go on to play for bigger sides, will go on to don on the national jersey in the coming days. And at the end of the day, Iran, they tried hard as well. It was not their night, but I think they did everything possible. They fought with every atom in their body, but it simply wasn't enough. And this is how cruel at times football can be. This is how cruel at times sport can be.